Walking into the building, this is how it looks with the draping and the lighting. So you can just imagine what guests will think when they walk into your wedding reception or private event. Get creative, think outside the box. We have tons of ways that we can help you with lighting and draping. Here's just a couple of examples. And we got this beautiful view over here. Check that out. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm just going to start walking this way. You will see the ceremony set up down there. Let's do a quick close-up of the ceremony. Show you what we got going on at the ceremony. So we brought out these Chiavari chairs that you see. This is enough for 80 people, spaced evenly. We also have the runway set up too, which looks amazing for the photos. This reflective surface works wonders with this light and the water. It truly looks amazing and breathtaking here. The view is awesome. You'll notice there's some clear acrylic pedestal setup with floral arrangements. And we also have our crystal chandelier hanging from the archway. Let's get back to the reception.
First, you will take your assembled base plate, you'll insert the upright into the base plate, it's tight fit, only forced on 50%, not all the way down. Next, you'll take the extendable arms, slide them onto both sides. Instead of making a corner, you can also have the arms come straight out. You'll notice they're extendable. You can pull them out or push them back in depending on your preference. Take the drapery, throw it over the extendable arm. Then you will go ahead and pleat the fabric. Notice the bottom, you'll have two piles, a left and right. You want to make sure you have the same amount of fabric on both sides. Repeat this step for your second arm of fabric. You throw it over. Once again, make sure you have the same amount of fabric on both sides. If necessary, use a ladder in case you can't reach the drapery at the very top. Then you'll go ahead and finish pleating the fabric. You want to make sure none of the fabric is overlapped. This way you can maximize the amount of pleats. The more pleats you have, the better look will turn out. You will do this for both sides. Also, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Next, you will overlap the two middle pieces of fabric using a zip tie. This will keep them together. Cut off any excess. Take your upright, raise it in increments to the desired height. Do not raise past the sticker. Next, take your fabric and finalize it by lifting the bottom edges. Afterwards, you'll gather the fabric in your hand like this. Look to any other fabric that you have in the room when you're going to start putting the zip tie around it. The main reason why is because you want all your fabric to be at the same height when pulled back. So you'll see these two pieces right here will be at the same height as this one as well. Then you'll go ahead and tie off your zip tie. If you have any extra, feel free to cut that off with a pair of scissors. If you need to, you can always lift it up. Make any final adjustments. The bottom portion of fabric will need to be tufted. That means it's rolled under itself like this. And I'll go ahead and complete the look for your draped pillar. So now as we step back, you'll see how it looks from the top to the bottom. That's how you cover a pole.
So you can see our Bistro lights, we have them plugged in. This is wrapped around the beam and it's coming down here to a ballast, which is going to be this pole. It's really heavy, a box planner. This is set up actually at the venue. It's tall enough to where guests can still walk under this. The main thing with this too is first we went ahead and we laid out our lines. This way we knew exactly where they would go and how much excess we would have. Once we knew how much excess we'd have with the lines, went ahead and we wrapped them around the poles. We have them plugged in, so you have power going to them. We're going to pull them very, very tight because we want to make sure we leave room for guests for them to walk underneath this because it has to be a safe structure. So what's going to happen is guests will come through here. You'll see there's also Bistro lights strung up here in the tent. Chandeliers are hung, which looks gorgeous over this white dance floor. There's also a white leather bar down here too, tying together the whole theme. So you can just get an idea of the coverage that 4 Bistro lights will give you. These are white Bistro lights. They're gorgeous. We use them all the time at wedding receptions. Simple DIY way to go ahead and add light to your photos and to create a beautiful backdrop just like that. And this takes roughly about an hour to set up with 2 people. You can do it more quickly. Just depends if you know the distance that the string lights will span as they make their way through your event space. And this is how the Bistros look when they're coming off the tent. These are coming right over the steps right here. It's really good. It lights it up, which makes it safe, but there's also going to be a bar, so this adds some interest with lighting. I'll tell you a little secret here. Pallet jack works wonders. That's how these things are moved around. Just pull it back a little bit, lift it, and then we can take this, pull it back, make these very tight so you have enough spacing, just like this. But if we start walking under it, you'll see there's enough room. We had power here. This one came up, wrapped around, came down, came back over here. So we basically made 2 V's, and that's all it took. 4 strands is what it looks like to cover your cocktail hour with white outdoor string lights. So first up, set up ceiling draping, you'll see that we have the fabric completely laid out. We know this is a center point. It's going to be 4 pieces of fabric. So what's going to happen is we're going to mount from this section. It's going to come down here to the side, and the other one will come down to the side. That's going to be 1 piece. So we only need 4 pieces to go to all of 8 pillars because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And they'll just go ahead and repeat going all the way around. We're going to go ahead and make a bicycle spoke pattern with this. We're going to re-zip tie this, take this, mount the center point up here to the ceiling, pull this fabric back and start attaching it to the pillars that you see here in the pavilion. After we went ahead and found the middle piece of all the fabric, we went ahead and zip tied it together. We took one of these clamps that you see right here, we wrapped it around the fabric and we mounted it to the very top. And what you do is you pull it up. Once you pull it up, this is the look that it gives you, like this. We have the fabric and we're making sure it's not twisted at the top. So we want to make sure that each piece comes down. So we might take a piece, change it over with that one or this one with that one, or vice versa with any other ones in here, because we want to make sure these all come down evenly. We're pulling them out straight because eventually these are going to pull tight over here to these beams, get that really nice full look. So it decorates this top center canopy with draping and lighting, gives a really good focal point. So we're going to go around and we're going to adjust every single leg of fabric. So this one, as we pull it back, we're going to take a look at the top and we're going to see if this needs to go to the other side or flip out. This looks pretty good right here to me. I'm in the way. It's going to come back here to this one over here. I like it. Just like that. So you can see that we have 3 of the legs done. To give you an idea of the spacing, this is roughly a 50 by 50. So what we did is we have these lengths. They are roughly 100 feet long. This way you have enough gather for the distance, which would be the hypotenuse. Because when you think of a triangle, it goes down and there's a side and there's a hypotenuse. So that one is going to be the longest distance. So if we're just measuring linear, we also need to measure this distance because the draping will go like this. So you want to make sure you have extra fabric in there for the gather. So if it's 50 across, we're just going to do 100 foot, just be safe. And then we have these draped pillars right here. And so the fabrics are going to hide behind it, tuck very nicely. This way it gives a finished look to the setup. So now we're talking about the dance floor. So we do not offer dance floors for DIY weddings. So they're big and they're heavy, but you want to make sure your dance floor is also centered. Chris is a magician. We're going to listen to Chris. Chris is a man. Well, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to lift up so we have all the drapery pulled back evenly, going all the way around. So what we're going to do to really see how this looks, I'm going to walk up in the middle of this, take the camera, just kind of look at it. And make sure there's even distance between all of them. You're probably getting dizzy with me doing this. Isn't that look beautiful though? Come back out just like this. See how that looks. Now that we just went ahead and we spun around in circles, we're gonna take the draping, we're gonna pull it back to these arches, give it a nice full look. We're gonna have a completed look and we'll show you how this looks. Awesome. So we have the fabric. Last step, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and we're gonna make it very full. So you can see how I'm grabbing this, I'm finding an edge. And once I find that edge, like this, then I can go ahead and take it and I can accordion it in my hands. So you can see how full we can make this fabric, just like this. If you're gonna go ahead and span down, you can see how full that is. For our client that's happening this weekend, she doesn't want the fabric that full. The reason why is because it's actually gonna be the twinkle lights going in between the draping. So we're gonna keep this a little bit more straight like this, not too full. Now also if you look down there, you'll see that we have an upright, and this upright's acting as a barrier so that the draping doesn't come back in and interfere with the chandelier. So that's just kind of like a pro DIY tip for you. So now that we have this done, we're gonna take this, we're gonna find a mounting point that we can attach to someplace safe and secure, which is gonna be one of these clamps that we have up here. You can kind of see that. So I'm gonna take this, gather my hand. Once I have enough of this, I'm gonna step up a little higher. I have a counterbalance on the other side of this, so it's safe. Okay, we find a good spot, which is right here. We're gonna take the zip tie with the same thickness in my hand. We're gonna go ahead and attach it. We wanna make sure it goes through the clip, just like this. And then once we have the zip tie around it, we can go ahead and start cranking it down. So it doesn't go anywhere. Perfect. You take this fabric straight, you have our draped corners. All we have to do with this is just pull it and put it behind it. Simple DIY way to go ahead and hide your fabric without getting really fancy with it. And you can see that this is not in the way of the chandelier either. It's free of the chandelier. All right, and this is a finished look in the space. You'll see that we do have our draped columns right here. It's going over every column. This is great because not only is it covering the pillars, but we also have the ceiling draping. It's pulled back and the fabric's hiding behind this. So we start walking backwards, you can see how the drapery is going back to those pillars and it's giving a nice full look. We also have chandeliers hanging here from the ceilings. Very easy to work in chandeliers around your draping with the Bistro lights that are hanging here from the ceiling with the white string lights. And we also have white string lights down here too. And these are going towards cocktail hour. So as guests walk out. This way it gives her a nice soft glow. It's really good to see the lighting, how it looks late at night. So this is actually being set up the day before. All of our rentals will ship to you 2 days before your event. So you can set this up beforehand. You can see how your lighting looks, get it dialed in. This way you're not stressed out the day of your event and everything flows very smoothly. But this is how it looks to have draping and lighting set up inside of a structure for your wedding reception. If you need help planning your DIY event, feel free to contact us. Once again, we're Ship Our Wedding. We provide nationwide DIY event rentals. We'd love to find out how we can help you with your DIY event. Feel free to give us a call. We also have a chat feature available on our website, and we look forward to helping you with your upcoming event. Thanks again, and take care.
Watch more videos above. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in our next video.